band with a bad reputation, Thin Lizzy. Scott Gorham is here tonight to take your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK. Get them in now. We only have one line open. We'll start in Portland, Oregon. Corey, how you been, man?
See, Scott.
Hey, Corey, how are you?
Scott, let me say thank you. I was fortunate to see you the last time you were here in Portland at the Body's Pen. You're being wheeled off the stage. I'm standing right there by the door yelling, Scott, rock line. And you remembered me, but you weren't able to sign. This is almost as good, if not better.
Oh, you mean I wasn't able to sign anything for you?
No, you were getting yanked off. You had tour managers and people just going, and I think I got my Sharpie. But I was right there by the door yelling from the power of Rockline, Scott, the last time you were on.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, the next time I will sign it for you, okay?
Thank you.
Those darn tour managers, they keep getting in the way.
Corey, what you want to ask Scott tonight?
It's a two-part question. First of all, how did playing with Phil make you a better guitar player? And in saying that, what was most underrated in Phil's bass playing, in your opinion? Long live Thin Lizzy, forever.
There you go.
Thanks, Corey. Well, just being on the stage with Phil made you a better player. Phil loved to push and push and push. And he was the kind of guy, really, that he would not let you sort of cower back into the shadows at all. He was not that guy. He wanted everybody up front and center. So he's actually a really generous guy that way. To him, it wasn't, the Phil Lynott solo project or Phil Lynott and Thin Lizzy. To Phil, it was Thin Lizzy, and there's four guys in the band. So he was constantly, not only me, but everybody in the band. He would push everybody forward. His philosophy was, everybody gets a share of the limelight. So, that was very cool. He was a very, very generous person. As far as his bass playing, to be quite honest, I think Phil was a pretty underestimated player. He used to joke all the time about, what a terrible bass player he was and all that, because, he played a lot of single notes. He pumped out a lot of single notes. But, there was a reason for that. Phil was pretty much the ultimate showman, and he was always trying to bring people, the audience in, and which is a pretty hard thing to do. If you've got, between, 5,000 and 10,000 people out there, it's pretty tough to make that arena seem a lot smaller and to bring everybody into the songs. But, excuse me, he was able to do that. But, if he was out there, doing a Jaco Pastoria kind of thing, he wouldn't have been able to, be that kind of entertainer. But then again, in saying that, I've been, playing, recently with, some Class A bass players, and when they actually listened to what, the kinds of notes that Phil was, pulling out of the hat and where he was putting them, these guys are pretty astounded with, with Phil's style and the power that he actually, struck the strings. So, he was a much better bass player than he let on, and probably a much better player. You should really maybe go through some of these songs and just kind of concentrate just on the bass every once in a while to see how Phil actually did that and the contribution he actually made with the bass guitar.
Let's go through one of those songs right now, then more of your calls for Scott Gorham tonight on Rockline at 1-800-344-ROCK. Don't believe a word.
This is one from the Johnny the Fox album. For all the ladies, it's a number called Don't Believe a Word.
Don't believe a word. It's Thin Lizzy. Scott Gorham is our guest tonight. I tell you what, we're going to take a time out, then we'll get more of your calls in the show. Toll free at 1-800-344-ROCK. Rock Line is brought to you by Fox. Fox Wednesday, don't miss an all-new episode of the hit series Lie to Me at its new time, an hour earlier, 8, 7 Central, right before the American Idol results show. I don't know if you've watched this show or not, but this show's really, really sharp. You'll enjoy it. That's Lie to Me on Fox. We're back in just a moment with your calls, more rock and roll from the just-released album Still Dangerous, live at the Tower Theater, Philadelphia, 1977. Here's Massacre for you. What a touch of Wild One. I love that song. I'm Bob Coburn. We're with Scott Gorham from Thin Lizzy, and your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK. RocklineRadio.com is our website. This show will be streamed for 2 weeks, beginning tomorrow afternoon, and you can see who's coming up on the show. Next week, it's an encore show, a compilation show with U2, and we'll play a lot of the new album for you as well. The week after that, it's Ian Gillan of Deep Purple. Queensryche playing live in the Rockline studio, plugging in and letting it go. Iron Maiden will be on, as well as Keith Emerson. Heaven and Hell with their brand new album. We'll have a premiere for you on that, and a whole lot more. And be sure to enter the contest we have going right now for the TV show 24, $2,400 and 24 CDs and DVDs. 17 are autographed, and that's just a great collection of CDs and DVDs. It ends this coming Saturday, so you need to log on at rocklineradio.com and get it done. Time for the encore question. Pat Travers was here last week. He left this for Scott.
Hey, this is Pat Travers. Scott, all right, we used to run together and hang together in London back in the heyday, and I got a question for you. I wonder, do you still have the same arrow, your same starting arrow that you used to throw when we'd go play darts?
Oh. Is he asking you, do I still have the same darts?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's asking you. Apparently you had a lead one that was your secret dart.
Wow. I haven't played darts in absolutely years. So, no. I don't have that anymore.
In a word, no.
Yeah, wow. No, it was funny in the... in the 70s, obviously, everybody would spend an inordinate amount of time in the pub. And so that was kind of a big pastime. And, they actually had dart shops. You could go down and customize your own darts, and everybody had them. So I can't really quite remember the darts that Pat's talking about, but... I can tell you one thing, I don't have those anymore because I don't think I have any darts around the house.
Well, that's what you do when you're in a pub. You play darts.
Yeah, or drink.
That's, well, a little bit of both, usually. Let's go to North Carolina, to Wilmington, and talk to David. David, you're on Rockline with Scott Gorham.
Hey, Scott.
Hi, man.
Why didn't Thin Lizzy or Phil, maybe in particular, wanted Whiskey in a Jar released as a single?
Wow. Well, they did, as a matter of fact. It was actually a hit for them, I think around, the beginning of 1973. But I think what you're referring to is maybe releasing it in America, which didn't happen. The song Whiskey in the Jar was kind of a regional hit, if you will. That kind of blossomed for them. It wasn't like a massive hit, but it grew big, and obviously in Ireland, it did real well in all over the UK. I think it did pretty well in a place like Scandinavia and Germany and those kind of places, but It never got released in America. In fact, nothing from that period of Thin Lizzy ever got released. It's one of the reasons why when I got to England, I'd never heard of Thin Lizzy.